I am Kelly Bickman. I'm an artist, and we are at the Burnett Gallery in Woodstock, New York. And these are some of my paintings. I'm a contemporary pop artist with a neo-goddess flair. What does creativity mean to me? Well, as an artist, I'm infinitely creative. I mean, creativity is just the act of creation. It's the endless flow of universal energies moving through us. And that's what creativity means to me. What does my name mean? My name Kelly means, in Gaelic, it means spiritual warrior. So this has really, after I found that out, it really resonated with me, and I went, oh my gosh, that's what my name means. Of course, that's why I'm doing this. Describe the neo-goddess movement. I don't know if I can accurately describe it. Neo-goddess is working with the feminine principle, working with the divine feminine aspect in creativity. I have a tendency to focus on deities and higher levels of consciousness. The mural arts program is something that I created in 2009 when I was living in Peekskill, New York. And I saw a gallery that was not being utilized, the gallery being outdoor spaces. And so I wrote this program and I started writing grants, and I worked with students at the Peekskill Youth Bureau for a year. And it was an extraordinary experience, and I was able to raise funds, and we did a 36 by 8 foot painting, which you will cut to and share. I have some wonderful B-roll footage of that. And it really expanded from there with working with the Hudson Valley Center for Contemporary Art and continuing to write grants. And then people started coming to me, and it's grassroots community engaged art. And I've worked with thousands of students and dozens of artists all over the Catskills and the Hudson Valley to do these large-scale, site-specific public art projects. And it's been really fulfilling, and I've learned so much about myself and about art through this program. It's been extraordinary.
How do you like working with the kids?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I get so much out of it. I really do. And I feel like art saves lives. And one of the most interesting things that had happened in the beginning of the program, which really opened my eyes to what I was coming into, but the students who came into my first class thought that I was an undercover agent for the police and that I was there to arrest them because they were the ones who were graffitiing and doing all this damage around town. And I said, no, I am here to give you materials. I'm here to give you a space to create, and you get to do this, and we get to create history together of something that's valuable and going to add value to the community instead of destructive. And it was mind-blowing how that transformed and changed their lives. And I'm really happy that I got to do that.
So why is it important for young people to make art?
I really feel like art saves lives. It does. It saves lives. It gives young people a tool for communication when they don't necessarily have words. It gives them an outlet to explore who they are. And the mural arts program was modeled after the Philadelphia arts program. I don't know if you know anything about the Philadelphia mural arts program, but by doing murals all over the city of Philadelphia, it's generated and revitalized the entire community in a vast way that people didn't even recognize or realize was going to happen.
I like what you did there, is essentially taking a model that's worked on a big scale and then bringing it to these local communities.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing I'm really honestly blown away by is your fashion work. So could you tell us a little bit about what 1111 Style is?
Sure. 1111 Style is my clothing line. I'm the CEO and I'm a designer, and so what I do is I take my paintings and I print them on organic cotton knit, and I restructure, and I have this clothing line which has been relatively successful, and I'm having a really good time doing it. Recently branching into shoes, which has been a whole new world of exploration for me because I never really saw myself as a shoe designer, but I had designed a few pair, and all of a sudden I got the cover of Shoe Retailing Today. So I said, all right, this is obviously something that I need to explore further. So now I'm working with a manufacturer.
What is it like stepping into these different roles as a fine artist to launch into being a CEO and a fashion designer? What is it like with the learning and...
I feel like as an artist, if I'm learning and growing and expanding, it keeps me alive. These are, if I've kind of got the technique down on how to apply paint to canvas, and I know how to do all these things, and I'm really stretching into learning new techniques through application to apparel. The application for art on products is unlimited. One of the things about the clothing line that prompted me to do it is I had actually studied apparel design for 2 years when I was in college in Wisconsin. But I felt like I was very limited and I really didn't like sewing. But then 20 years later, I revisited it and got obsessed with designing, and I've made and sold personally over 5,000 garments. Manufacturing doesn't work that way. That's what I know. It's bread and butter, it's great, but you have to outsource your manufacturing, and that's what we're doing with the shoes, so that I can just be in the studio creating and the product will go out and sell.
Yeah.
Women love clothes. Women love clothes. That's the thing.
Okay, I'm glad you talked about it because this actually is my next question. What advice would you give to young artists about how to be financially successful and avoid that stereotype?
Yeah. The thing about being an artist, and there is a stereotype for the broke artist, and I have fallen into it many times, but I never stop creating, and that's the thing, is never stop creating. The biggest thing is don't be afraid to get it out there and to share your work on as many platforms as you possibly can, and don't hold on to your work. Sell your works. By releasing it and selling it, you have capital to make more, and I think that's one of the most important things. I know people who are tremendously gifted artists, but they don't leave their studio. You have to get out in the world and you have to share your art. Video, camera, social media has changed things dramatically in the way that we can share. Through making videos and doing all tutorials, like if you check out some of my tutorials through Patreon or through, some of them are up on YouTube, just sharing your work in as many ways and finding mentors. I think it's really important for young artists to find mentors who are actively out in the world, who are selling. Like that's really one of the most important things, is to share in that way, or to continue to learn from people who are out there doing it.
Okay.
And reading books on business. I am so creatively minded, but I read books on business all the time on how to expand, and I think that's one of the most important things too.
Could you tell us about Look Within and Be Happy and what the process was of creating it?
This one?
Yes.
That one? The one around the corner?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so you'll do some B-roll footage. Look Within and Be Happy was a tapestry that I created at the Howl Festival in Tompkins Square Park back in the late 90s, maybe early, was it 2000, maybe it was 2002. And what they do in Tompkins Square Park is they wrap the entire park in vinyl and invite artists from all over the place to come, and you get a certain square and you have the entire weekend to make this piece of art. So it was a blast because there's live music, there's people walking all over the place, it's a very interactive experience. And so in order for me to actually produce something in a weekend, I had taken these posters that I had printed when I was in India, and I collaged the posters, and then I graffitied on top of my own works. So it kind of created this multi-textural work of art. And if you look closely, there are some interesting quotes in there. One of them says, never say we have nothing in common, death takes all. And that's a quote by my daughter's father. And I thought that was a really interesting heart, hits you right here. Yeah, we're all gonna cross over. So we all have that in common. So the idea behind the painting is look within. It's all your happiness is inside of you. You're never going to find it anywhere in the external world. Go deep within yourself and you'll find that that's where That's where true happiness lies.
What helps you be creative?
Things that help me be creative are space, having the time and space to create, and I love my good warm cup of coffee. You'll often find me just sitting and staring at a blank canvas for a while with my coffee, just sipping, and with tunes cranked in the studio. Mostly time and space though. I think those are the important things. Just clear out the space.
Okay. What slows and stops your creativity?
What slows and stops my creativity is Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Perfect.
And the phone. Kill them all.
Okay.
And then work.
Okay. Do you have any daily or morning routines that help you create?
My daily and morning routines, essentially, I have that cup of coffee and then I hit the studio and I just start painting. Yeah. What I would tell the young creative who's desperate to create but doesn't know where to start is that you start where you are. You start where you are, and it's one brushstroke at a time, one word at a time, one moment at a time, and that's where the real magic happens. You have to be present and allow it to work through you. And then,
That was perfect. Oh my god. That was amazing.
I must be having so much
I'm
fun
sorry.
working with them.
I get so excited.
So proud of you. I know, right? You make interviewing really fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, it's great.
Very answers.